Obviously, the Gonzaga Bulldogs regular season has ended and the WCC's regular season has ended. The conference tournament gets rolling, but with their ladder style scheduling, big boys won't get rolling for a little bit. But Raider Jim, your thoughts, Gonzaga, and a little bit of a WCC tournament preview.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, Gonzaga, they didn't really right the ship. And it's really interesting because I'm guilty of it. I sat here and said, Gonzaga, what's wrong with Gonzaga this year? Blah, 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 blah. Why? Because they only won 20 and they lost 8 games. There's a lot of programs that would love to have that kind of a winning percentage, and they won 20 games. I think this is, I don't know what the streak is for how many seasons in a row they've won 20 games. With that said, they had the big game against San Francisco on Saturday, and that was not necessarily for bragging rights, but it was definitely to see who's going to get that number 2 seed in the West Coast Conference Tournament. And Gonzaga showed up, went into the San Francisco house, took care of business handily. They were never really challenged. They played some good defense. The shooting was good. And Mark Few played his personnel just right with the getting people on and off the floor at the right times. So good luck to Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference Tournament. They are the number 2 seed. For all intents and purposes, as you and I talked last week, you will probably see another showdown between Gonzaga and St. Mary's. And speaking of St. Mary's, just like some movies, I guess, or swept the Oscars. Well, if this was the Oscars, St. Mary's swept all the big awards within the past couple of days. Randy Bennett, congratulations. I believe it's the 4th year in a row. He was acknowledged as WCC Coach of the Year. Player of the Year, Augustas Marciulionis. This kid out of, I think he's from Lithuania. There's 2 kids. One is from Lithuania, one's from Greece. This big, he's not a big kid. He's only 6 foot and a couple 100 pounds or something like that. Averages 14 points a game. Great offensive player and defensive player. Mitchell Saxon, the big man in the middle. And then they also had newcomer of the year, Paulius Morauskas. I think he might be the one that's from Greece, but he scores 12 points a game. So St. Mary's just really, 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 you look at how many awards they picked up in the conference, and it's no wonder that they were number 1. They even have Mikey Lewis was called out to be 6th man of the year. Freshman of the year was a young man named Austin Rapp. He came out of Portland, but other than that, everything else was St. Mary's. Now on the other side of it, or the other awards, if you will, all West Coast Conference team did include 3 Bulldogs: Nolan Hickman, the senior, Ryan Emhart, the senior, and then I believe Graham Ike also got recognized for his efforts and what he brought to the table for Gonzaga. So congratulations to those 3 guys. At least they did. They got acknowledged as they should have been. Hickman and Nemhart were just fantastic backcourt leaders. And when they're both out on the floor, kind of hard to watch because you can't stop them both at the same time. And as far as the tournament goes, that tournament gets underway tomorrow. And our own USD Toros are playing in that first game. And boy, it's interesting. You hear that you're going to have Coach Lavin in there and you're thinking, wow, this program's probably going to turn around, but that has not been the case. So we'll see what happens with the USD program between this year and next year. But I'm waiting because automatically Gonzaga and St. Mary's are already in the semifinals. So they let the other guys burn some fuel and then see what they've got left. And good luck to Gonzaga because they could either play Oregon State or San Francisco again.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, if you're not familiar with the ladder bracket, make sure you go check it out. It's interesting. And USD, I tell you, if they're going to win a conference tournament title, it's going to be a hell of a grind. It's like 5 wins in 5 days. Best of luck to them. But yeah, little unfortunate. I expected more from the Lavin era, but who knows? It's still somewhat early, and we'll see how much patience they have over there because it's been a little rough. But I did do a quick little Wikipedia search. They only have season by season essentially since Mark Few got there, but going back to 1999, Gonzaga has won 23 or more games, so not just over 20. So we're talking about 25 straight years of 23 wins or more, for probably, you know, one of the most successful programs this century, if you look at it that way. So very good stuff. And yeah, very similar to Kansas. Everyone's kind of poo-pooing a 20-8 season when a lot of teams, even some of the North Carolina Blue Bloods that have been down, they would still love to be comfortably in the tournament right now. So good problem to have there for Mark Few and company.